Today we've been working on the newest charger to get the next system up and going. We got a 12,000 I speed right. The I is a remote, turns it on and off, tells you where the faults are. On it, it's got several settings. Fast, slow, faster overnight, half power, full power. Terminals are from left to right, ground, earth, I think is what they call it. I don't know, I don't hook it to anything. And half power and full power. The battery we're using is an EverStart Deep Cycle. It's a 115 amp hour. That's the rating that matters. The cranking amps really don't. As far as the speed right goes, the plug, it comes with two. One that's a pretty small wire that goes into a 110 outlet, and then it's got one that you can hook onto a battery with alligator clamps. But that's just asking for trouble. So I cut those off and I put the ring eyelets on it, bolt them to the top of the battery. From there, I like to use red and black, but they didn't have any red, so I go from the battery up to the voltage regulator, which I get from the solar panel, the charger, everything come from Jim Garish, American Grazing Solutions. Galen always answers the phone, sometimes Don, but normally Galen. It's just a $20 voltage regulator. The important thing on these, this one's got a readout on it. It's pretty nice. It tells you how much it's charging, what the battery's rating is. Whenever you're dealing with this, you need to make sure that you unplug the solar panel first before doing anything else. And the solar panel needs to be plugged in last when you're hooking everything up. Otherwise, you'll fry that voltage regulator. That's another $20. So going out of the charger, you've got your ground, and it comes right out the left side of the box over here. And it goes down. I've got a wire strung up here in the perimeter fence. Move out of the way, sheepdog. And I've got 6 ground rods down through here, 10 feet apart. They're 6 foot long. Drove all the way down. Used a gas-powered driver. I borrowed off a friend. I've got one post in between to keep it from flopping around. And it goes down there to that fiberglass post and terminates there. Each ground rod, like I said, 6 foot. There's 6 of them. That's 36 feet. You're supposed to have 3 feet for every joule of charger. So 36 divided by 3 is 12,000 I. Out the other side of the charger, you have your hot, and it comes over, and I've got it tied back to where the cows can't chew on it. And it just crimps on. These solar panels come with a positive, negative wire, and they have a pretty nice, they're bullet connectors. They've got a little O-ring on them. They're weatherproof. I've got this sitting in a box, so I don't really need the weatherproofing, and I don't want to have to order just one set of connectors off of Amazon to finish the system, so I put spade connectors on it. Normally I use bullet connectors, but they've changed these panels a little bit, and they're using a 10 gauge wire now instead of a 14, and they switched it over to aluminum. I don't know if you can see that in the video, but it's a bigger wire because it's aluminum. And just because I am who I am, I went ahead and used 10 gauge over here, but it is copper, but it matches and makes my life better. They said this was the exact same solar panel that I normally use. It is not. It is the same rating. Well, hang on. But it should sit right down into those grooves there, flush. But it doesn't, and I built this box in the winter time before I had all the parts in. So now it just kind of sits in between Well, it's supposed to sit in between those blocks, and it will. I'm not going to do it one-handed. Then I'm just going to slide this over, screw it in. That'll keep the wind from blowing it off. And then, to keep the cows away from the whole system, get a little spring latch. Just like that. And you're done. It'll just sit there. From there, we go down, and I think it's 100 feet. This power line overhead isn't active, so you're not supposed to be within so many feet of the grounding system for a power line. You'll go down here. I set 2 of these fiberglass pipe, and I've got 7 ground rods because you're supposed to have 1 more than what you have for the charger. They are also 10 feet apart. You can kind of see how I got them hooked up a little better here. Just a little brass clamp, which you should not mix galvanized and brass, but that's what they had at the store, so that's what we used. This is a double insulated underground wire from PowerFlex. Then the crimp. These are taps, I guess, because it's got 1 through hole and then 1 opening where you can go over the wire and then crimp it. But this is a better way that I've been doing it, because you've got the extra wire. It's secured to the fiberglass post. The cows won't chew on the high tensile. You keep these short enough, they won't chew on them either. It's just a lot less problems with cows. From here, you go into your lightning diverter and back up to your hot wire. This bottom one is just the grounding. One word on these lightning diverters: I face it to where the part that moves is at the top, because on the other 2 that I've got is flipped the other way, and now they have water in them, and they're not working properly, so I'm going to have to go over there and drill a hole in one of them to let the water out, or flip it over, or figure something out. Drilling a hole will probably be what happens, because it'll be the quickest and easiest, and I'm lazy, so I am going to paint those posts, and I am going to fill them with expanding foam, which I don't know if that'll be a long-term solution, but that's what's going to happen. And from there, we just go on down. There's a gate down there, got a piece of conduit underneath it, and then the charging system or the fencing system's on down. I'll show you that sometime when I get it all done.